Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kristen and today I'm going to share with you guys ways you can redo your picture frames. So you guys have old picture frames, you keep changing out the pictures or it just doesn't go with your decor anymore. I'm going to show you guys how to transform those. I have a ton of different picture frames, I have a ton of different ideas, so let's get going. The first frame is really large. It's about 2.5, 3 feet long. I want to say it's just over that. Anyways, we are going to be ripping that floral piece off of the center. I found this at Goodwill. It was $1.49, and I go to like the Goodwill bins or the Goodwill outlet. They have a ton of bins of clothes, and then they have like walls full of decor. So that is my favorite place to go because they always mark down all of their items. So I'm just going in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color white to paint this frame. So now you're going to see the back of the frame, which I am not going to be using that like eggshell color backing. We're just going to be using the glass. So I decided to use this large barn rub-on transfer. This is from the Dixie Belle Down on the Farm rub-on transfers. I love these, and this is I think my last one to use. I do have some horse ones. I don't know what to do with horses. I'm not like a huge horse person, so don't hate me if you love horses. They just kind of terrify me a little bit, so they're just not my favorite things. But anyways, this barn is one of my favorite things. I think this is so pretty. I've used this in different DIYs before. I just love using rub-on transfers. I think they just make everything look so high-end, and it doesn't even take that long to put together. So mine was just a tad bit off. When I set this down, I realized that my rub-on transfer was already coming off on the glass before I could even rub this on. So keep that in mind when you are using these, that it attaches to glass very quickly. So I wasn't able to fix my mistake, but I think overall it looks really good, and you can barely tell that it's just like off by just a smidge. That's all it's off by. Here's another Goodwill find. This was 99 cents. Like I said, the price on these are not correct because they do lower the price quite a bit. So the only thing I did, I just took the backing off of this, and it was pretty easy. It was just like taking the backing off a picture frame. And then I realized I don't really have to do anything to that back at all. I did want to paint the gray. I'm using the color Moss by Waverly Chalk Paint. And this only needed 2 coats, which I think that's amazing when it comes to painting. I don't love painting items, and if I do, I want them to be painted quickly, but I want them to be looking nice all at the same time. So that's why I love using chalk paint, and it dries pretty quickly. It dries even faster when you use a hair dryer like I do. All right, so I wanted to use some scrap paper for the backing, so I'm just tracing it out along the back side, and my scrap paper actually came from Hobby Lobby, and when you can get it 50% off, sometimes the packs of the scrap paper are on sale. You can get them for like $5 a pack. I picked up a ton around Christmas time, and some of them I'm actually using still because they don't look super Christmassy. Like a buffalo check, you can technically use that all year long. So once that scrapbook paper was on there, I just added the backing right back to this sign. So I'm not sure if this is a sign or if it's a shelf, but I'm actually kind of using it as a shelf. So I just put a Dollar Tree cute little duck in there. I didn't glue it down or anything because I wanted to just be able to switch out the decor on the inside of this, and I think this looks perfect. This next piece, it is actually like a banner. And this was from a garage sale. It was only $1, and I'm using the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. This needed 2 good coats, and I just use a small paintbrush to go around the edges, and it works really, really good. These paintbrushes actually came from Temu, and I love them. Like, I think I'm going to order myself more because they clean up easy, and they are really nice, and the bristles are super soft. So if you just want, you were questioning about Temu, there's so many products that I use on a day-to-day basis. Anyways, we are going to be diving in using Chalk Couture. I'm obsessed. If you are not new, then you already knew that I love using Chalk Couture. And it doesn't really have to be Chalk Couture per se. I just love the silkscreen transfers, and I am using these two, and I will link it down in the description box below for you guys if you want to check it out. But this says you belong among the wildflowers. I'm using the color Eggshell. This is like a newer color from spring, and it is one of my new favorites. I thought it'd be a spring color, but I think it is going to be a Farmhouse all year round color. And then I'm just using the bright white chalk paste on the top. And if you do go and check out the chalk paste, you're going to notice that it is a little pricey, but a little bit goes a long way. So I did leave these transfers on just a little bit longer so it looks more worn down. So obviously, as soon as you're done with the transfers, you want to peel this off quickly. I waited just a little bit longer so it looks a little distressed without actually having to distress it. I don't know what this string is called, but I picked this up at a garage sale and I'm like, I can use this for something. So I'm going to create a wreath for this, but I need a circle because I don't think that I can just glue greenery onto something and make it a good looking circle. So I thought this worked great. So I just made a circle and then I started to add some boxwood greenery around the top of this. This is from Walmart, but I actually have a flower box or like a floral box greenery of things that I've cut up that I just really try to use up some of those pieces before I actually go and buy new ones and then cut those down and then cut those down, because I do a lot of flower cutting when it comes to crafting, but I don't want to waste any of the pieces, so I always just save those and stick them in the box. Also using some lavender, and this is also from Walmart. And that is it for this. I thought about adding a bow to the wreath, but I just really like the way this one turned out. I think this one is my favorite throughout the video. I think it is just really pretty. I love the colors, and I love the black backing. It's just a favorite.
It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep 'cause I'm not tired. I'm thinking about the days we used to shine when we were young. I told you that we should start a band and reach for the sky.
One is so easy, don't blink, you might miss it. So this frame was $1.49 at the Goodwill outlet, or the Goodwill bins. It was from that discounted Goodwill store. And it was brand new, which I loved. So I just took the backing off, added some scrapbook paper, also from Hobby Lobby. It was in the same pack as the previous one. And then these rub-on transfers are from Amazon. I love these, except this one was ruined. And if I wanted to return it and replace it, I was going to have to pay shipping. So I will link in the description box for you guys if you want to check them out. Maybe yours won't turn out like that if you purchase them. But I was a little disappointed that I was going to have to pay shipping for a damaged item. But I mean, I'm still going to keep on using these. I just don't really know if I want to link the, just let me know. Like, do you guys want the link to this? If so, I will link it. But honestly, I would prefer not to give that company or that person or whoever I purchased it from any sort of credit when you have to pay for your damaged items. That like shocked me, honestly, because I had no idea that you would get charged for something that was damaged. Okay, rant over. I'm using the Farmer's Market transfer along with that rooster, and I think this is the cutest little thing. I think it looks so good in front of that scrapbook paper, and I put this directly on the glass. I did not put it on the scrapbook paper, so, and it worked out great, and I love it.
It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall.
This next DIY is this Home Sweet Home sign. I have had this for a little while. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it the way it was and decorate with it or redo it, but here we are, we're redoing it. So I'm using the Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and I needed to do 2 good coats to cover that Home Sweet Home wording. So right here, I'm using another one of those rub-on transfers from the previous pack, and I like these because they're pretty small and simple, and I have a ton of these smaller signs, so I'll be able to create a ton of different DIYs. And I think all those transfers were about $15 to $18. I cannot remember off the top of my head, but I thought it was pretty inexpensive when you can make probably over 20 different crafts with them.
I'm just not tired. I can hear the raindrops falling. It's cold outside, and I kind of feel like
For this one, I grabbed this cutting board. This was only 99 cents as well, and it is wood, so that is why I wanted it. I don't love the heart, but I don't hate that either. I grabbed this stencil. This is from Dollar Tree, and then I grabbed this Scorch Pro marker, and this is from Amazon. And I've seen people use these before, and I just kind of wanted to test it out. I don't love stencils at all, but I thought this would be easy since I'm kind of just coloring the stencil in. And then once the stencil was completely covered, I did take this off and kind of go back and fill in the areas that were just a little messed up. But I thought this would make a better stencil than trying to paint. I always have such bad bleed through, and no matter what kind of tips or tricks anybody gives me, I don't care for them. So I'm using this heat gun. This is actually off of Temu, and this works really well, although I did end up going outside for this because my smoke alarm kept going off. But this is kind of what it looks like when you are getting there. So it's getting there. It takes a little while. Like I said, go outside because my smoke alarm kept going off, and the smell was pretty potent. So I mean, do it in a nice, well-ventilated area. I did learn the hard way because my house just smelled for quite a while. Just like burnt wood, nothing crazy, but you don't want your smoke alarms going off. But this is what it looks like when it is done, and I kind of did some burns around the sides just to make it kind of look like it was supposed to be like that, and I think this one turned out so good. But you guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, consider sticking around and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Calling, but it's too